Hello friends, my name is Sushil Shamlal Wadhwa from Platinum World Group and welcome to the third episode of Business Events Decoded. Our guest today on this episode is again a dear friend of mine whom I've known since almost 7 years now. He's a luxury hotels and resorts hotelier, having been recognized by world-renowned leading leisure traveler magazines and awarded top accolades. Enjoys making a difference to the guest experiences through introducing lifestyle concepts and combining local culture with world-class service. He's a highly resourceful general manager that appreciates multicultural environments, connecting with local leaders and society. Having welcomed royalty and celebrities in his luxurious and leading hotels of the world, ensuring discretion, utmost care and impeccable service are some of his hallmarks. He's a very dynamic, very motivated individual and has been working in Africa, Europe and Asia Pacific region with various luxury boutique hotels and resorts. Please welcome to the show, Andreas Kraemer. Andreas, welcome to Business Events Decoded. It's great to have you on the show. I must say you're looking very dapper and I love the background of your hotel with the staircase behind. Extremely nice.
Thank you.
Very, very GQ. So just to quickly fill in the viewers, I first met Andreas 7 years back when he came to my office in Mumbai, and he was the general manager of a beautiful resort called Hilton Chilim, which is just a 2.5 hours drive away. And after that, I had the privilege to go there as a special guest. And I was really bowled over with his hospitality and the property at the same time. And unfortunately, I didn't get the chance to go to the many other beautiful resorts he went to after that. I'm hoping I can come to Singapore. So Andreas, without further delay, why don't you tell us about your entry into the world of hospitality? How did it all start?
Well, I come from a hotelier family, if you like. My father is a baker and my mother is a cost controller. So that took me, the German bread basically took me around the world. And I grew up in South Africa, coming from Germany. And my father was baking bread for a huge hotel complex there called Sun City. And if you're a child of Sun City, there's not much else I think you're going to think of later than hospitality. So that took me then across the world. I went back to Germany to do my studies, high school, and then I started. I went to the Maldives, Thailand, India, China, and now I'm in Singapore. And Singapore, I must say, is really the highlight of my hospitality career. It's a melting pot of cultures, arts, great food, great people. So I'm having a blast.
Why don't you start with where you worked first as a hotelier? Which was your first job?
After my hotel school, I started in a hotel called Victor's Residenzhotel Schlossberg. Sounds German, is German. It's on the border of Luxembourg or to Luxembourg. And it's a hotel casino with, I believe now, one of the only 3-star Michelins in Germany.
Okay. And then when you came to India, to the Hilton Chilim, what hotel number was that for you?
Boy, now you're making me count. What, 6 or 7?
Okay, nice. And then I remember after Hilton, you went to the Wanda Hotel in China, in the north of China. I forget the name of the place.
Harbin,
where the big ice and snow festival happens every year. It's like a fairy tale town. I missed my journey to my opportunity to come there and stay with you.
It's wonderful. Minus 5 in winter though.
So from a hill resort, your next stop was at Sanya, if I remember correctly.
Then from the ice city in Harbin, I went down south to Sanya, correct, to run the Intercontinental Sanya Resort. Yes.
Yes. And then another place before you came to Singapore.
That was Xiamen.
Xiamen, correct. I didn't want to risk saying the name incorrectly. Okay, and now obviously COVID has given us all the need to come on ventilator support. I'm guessing Singapore is probably recovering a little faster now because it's managed to control the situation. So why don't you tell us a bit about what's happening as far as COVID goes? How are business events currently? Have they started happening? Are you starting to get queries, or it's still some time before you think that will start?
Well, we've moved business, of course, from the first half in the year. We were
Yeah.
fortunate to move to next year. Companies just like us, what's happening? And we are guessing with our finger on the pulse daily that we could be looking at a pickup in late Q4 this year. The Singapore domestic market. Anything outside of Singapore borders, you have governments talking about travel bubbles. I think they also need to look at the test. Who wants to be quarantined for going on a business trip for 7 days or 14 days? It's a daily assumption.
So how would you feel moving forward? Now, obviously, there was a time when MICE was on every hotel's radar. And what were the key factors that you think as a hotelier or as a hotel chain were key to success of hosting large MICE groups?
I mean, I can talk about the Intercontinental Singapore. We've been here 25 years.
Yeah.
We have a very dedicated and professional team that really understand the customer's needs, very bespoke service.
Yeah.
And we're a heritage hotel in the style of colonial style.
Yeah.
We have very nice big ballroom with natural daylight, which is unique. And we're in the arts and cultural district. So
Okay.
we can offer, like in my profile, local experiences.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, of course, we're very close to the F1 site where we can do off-site catering. Also, by the way, so we are able to use those spaces if the customer likes.
Yeah.
We're very focused on off-site catering.
Yeah. And do you see moving forward, what would be the special steps and procedures that the hotel is undertaking to sort of rebuild confidence of especially the corporate clients who need to do business events as part of their growth and loyalty building and rewarding program for their stakeholders?
Well, we're developing unique programs for smaller groups. Of course, easier to control, also to ensure safety and hygiene, right?
Yeah.
Then, of course, the virtual component comes in, which we're already working on.
Yeah.
And we're trying to work with business partners that also can support in ensuring the guest safety.
How much is the government supporting such an initiative? Are they, like I remember Singapore in the past was happy to financially support MICE groups to choose Singapore as a destination. Now, given the current circumstance, are they doing something extra that you're aware of?
They've been doing very well in getting the safety message out. In the beginning, that's a few months before I joined, they started with the Singapore, I believe it's called Clean Campaign, application for restaurants and hotels that have a very high level of cleanliness. Now they have just launched a Rediscover Singapore campaign, more focused on the local travelers to rediscover Singapore, the attractions, and also gives us a platform to present ourselves.
And Singapore was always known to be squeaky clean. In fact, many people in Singapore would travel out of Singapore so that they could actually experience some chaos and some unhygienic conditions. So now I guess pretty much every street in Singapore would be more hygienic and clean than most people's homes in India, at least for sure.
Well, it's an extremely clean country, which is great, right? And I have two young kids, and we appreciate it every day. I don't really believe that they had to do much more than what they've done before outside on the streets, because it's just been an incredibly organized and clean country city. Yes.
Well, now I'm asking you to hold the crystal ball in your hand.
Okay.
We did discuss before we started the show on when do you think that business travel and business events will start bouncing back, and when do you see it return to its former glory days? And whether you think there will be a pent-up demand that will probably see an explosion of business events happening when all this is a little safer for people to travel?
For the pent-up demand, I think it's an answer. I can comment on what I can see right now. A lot with staycations right now, or with the local Singaporeans, and
Yeah.
are really hungry to go out and have the hotel experience, get out of their own four walls, breakfast, enjoy the pool, and there's really, you cannot get a seat for the next 4 weeks out, or just a daycation with a simple pool. Much of a demand to get out and enjoy with the family. That could translate into what we will probably see in the future once the travel bubbles come back. But again, that crystal ball, if you could sell it to me, I'll buy it. It's very, very difficult to foresee. What I like to do is I like to look at what airlines are doing. They seem to be a little bit more understanding of the situation, because they've got these huge machines they need to take care of. If you look at that, it's what we just spoke before the call. You could perhaps see something mid-21.
Yeah. So 21 is your expectation, more like mid of 2021 or beginning or the third or fourth quarter?
But the former glory days, that one, next year is not going to be a former glory year.
What is Singapore Airlines doing? Like, are they fully functional? Because there were obviously news about downsizing and cutting down team and obviously cutting costs, and it's pretty much the need of the hour because travel is causing the spread of COVID faster than anything else.
I think it's Singapore Airlines is very close to the heart of the Singaporeans, and of course, a key factor here in Singapore. They're trying. I think everybody's waiting for those travel bubbles to come back.
Yes, yes. Although I think Singapore and India are announcing a travel bubble, so that should be good news, at least for Singapore, because the Indian population is so large that the outbound business, they are all dying. Already hotels in India for December, Jan, Feb, there is no availability for weddings and social events particularly. The business events is yet to pick up. But that's the feedback I get from the India market, that hotels in Rajasthan, in Goa, in Kerala are already saying that they don't have space for December onwards for weddings and social events, because all the dates have already been booked by people who are thinking of doing a celebration. So I'm hoping that should come to Singapore as well.
We hope so too. I mean, we can see that a lot of weddings are moved to next year. So next year is looking extremely healthy. Government lifted the restrictions of smaller solemnizations up to a group of 50. Those weddings moving back into this year because they just want to get married, right? And you can see some people coming out of the woodworks and say, you know what, let's get married now before the second wave perhaps hits. So it's interesting to see how the movement is right now.
So as a hotel, the Intercontinental Singapore, what would you say you are better to host, whether is it a business event, whether it is a social event like a wedding or an anniversary or a birthday or engagement? What do you think the hotel is more suited for? I'm sure it will do a great job in either case. But from the look of the staircase behind you, it seems great for a couple to walk down for a great photo op, for example.
We call this the grand staircase, and if I could give you a little show around, it looks a little bit like a chapel.
Yeah.
So this is the favorite spot to get married, and it's been so for the last 25 years.
Wow. How old is the hotel?
25 years. We just turned
25 years, okay. And how many rooms is it? I never bothered to ask you this earlier.
403.
So good size. And the ballrooms are large enough for how many people?
Also you can get about 400 people inside.
Okay, so that's good size then for whether it's a business event, whether it's a social event, it's a good size for either of them.
They still built this hotel like hotels should be built back 25 years ago. So we have a lot of space, which is great.
Yeah, that's great. What would be your advice to MICE agencies given the backdrop of COVID? Because right now it's probably the whole industry is on ventilator support, or at least needs ventilator support, but there is no ventilator that the government in India is unfortunately providing for our industry. Our message from the government is Atmanirbhar Bano, which means become self-reliant. It's a good message, but easier said than done. So what is your advice for people who are considering whether they should be in the business, whether they should get out of it and start something else, for their uncertainties, based on your gut feeling?
Personally, I feel it's the most exciting industry there is, and we're very resilient. I think since we know each other, we've seen a few crises and we've always mastered it. We always bounce back, don't we? And because we hold together as a family, and I think that's what makes the industry so exciting. We work together, and I see it as a lifestyle, not a job. So I think the takeaway from it would be build on the strengths of your team and take it step by step, because nobody's going to give you that crystal ball, and focus on what lies ahead and do it together with the team as a family.
And tell me, as a hotel, what steps are you all taking as far as sustainability goes? In tourism, it's become the need of the hour. So as a hotel, what steps are you all taking for sustainable tourism?
We're very committed to ensuring business growth in a sustainable way, and we're very lucky that we're part of IHG, and IHG has the Green Engage system. The Green Engage system is a measuring tool which is online, which is fully connected also to our corporate office.
Yeah.
We have annual targets of how we have to reduce, where we have to reduce. So we look at waste reductions, water reduction, electricity. We look at all of that.
You know, if you have to give advice to young people, individuals who are not in the industry but aspiring to enter the travel, tourism, business events industry, with the uncertainty the current times hold, what would your advice be for those people?
First of all, to go back to the point where I said I see it as a lifestyle, not a job. I think that's the first thing that everybody needs to understand. Pre or post-COVID or during COVID, it's one of the most interesting industries, but you have to take it step by step, and now more than ever.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it will overwhelm you. So take a step back and look what's coming, and then decide if you would like to join, or wait a little bit until you have more clarity, and then join us later.
And tell me, the hotel is functional as of today? Are you receiving guests today?
Yes, we are. We have staycation guests, we have daycation guests, we have guests that are using the rooms as offices, working from hotel.
Okay.
So we are functioning.
Okay. And has Intercon introduced sort of a program specifically for COVID? Because I know many hotels have introduced, whether it's Hilton or Hyatt or Marriott or ITC in India. So what is the program that Intercontinental has introduced to show that it's COVID safe, or is there a name for that program?
From the rooms to the lobby, to the restaurants, to the kitchen, the guest journey with all the touch points. And again, it adds more levels on safety and security, how often we're allowed to touch a room, how often we've removed a lot of decorative items, because those are reducing the touch points, creating more safety for the guests.
And how about the entire team? How do you manage the safety aspect for them every day? I mean, do you have checks every day for every team member coming in?
No, we definitely do temperature tests. If somebody has a cough, they need to stay at home. We do follow the policy, so we have separate teams to which area, so we can also do a trace back in case there would be a case, which hasn't happened yet, which is great.
I think Singapore has also managed to control the pandemic to a great extent right now.
They've done a fabulous job, truly. Yeah. I get calls from Germany and they say, oh, what's happening in Singapore? Because they could see the cases from the dormitories.
Yeah.
Cases in the community, always single digit. They've done a phenomenal job here in Singapore.
Before we end our formal interview, is there anything else you would like to share with our viewers?
Well, we're actually working right now to come stronger out of COVID. We're working on luxury leisure travel, actually, Indian market. So we've reached out to some. I'm officially reaching out to you soon too. Okay. So we really want to drive the Indian market to Singapore. We have our own Indian chef who's coming from Chennai.
Okay.
And you know how much I love Indian food, having lived there for years. So that's really a key aspect, because our hotel really oozes Singapore. It's a colonial build, and we always talk about stay Singapore, feel Singapore, our hotel. So you couldn't really move this hotel anywhere in the world. It's really a mirror of Singaporean culture, which is great, and we would like the Indian customer to experience it firsthand very soon, hopefully.
This was Andreas Kraemer talking to us about the Intercontinental Singapore, how wonderful a hotel it is and how ready it is to start welcoming business soon. It's put in place all safety measures, and I know Andreas personally, he works with German precision always. So at least that's one hotel I would feel very safe to go to. Thank you for watching this episode. Don't forget to share this episode, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Until we meet again for the next episode of Business Events Decoded. Thank you for watching.